We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles has been using this pastime hobby to her advantage, taking her artistic abilities digital.
In school, you got to figure out, all right, now I need to figure out how to do what I love and make a lifestyle and a career with it.
While studying at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Myles started freelancing. She eventually filed for a business license and developed owned web graphic design.
And it's really just digital art. You know, I love it. I pick the areas that I like to work with because there's many fields of graphic design, but I like designing brands like logos as well as doing advertising and apparel design.
When COVID-19 hit, Myles, who spent most of her career working for others, chose to invest more time into her business. What was just a side gig finally became her full-time job.
I work with small businesses. I try to target women-owned businesses as well as businesses of color, and also larger contractors for the government as well as the federal government. So I like to work as a contractor as well.
Myles takes pride in giving back to the community who supports her. She says she built her success by getting out and about and joining organizations like the Black Chamber of Commerce.
It's a very particular demographic because there's just a lot of economic holding back of the Black community in different areas. So it's important to me to represent that as well as help to grow it. To be intentional about stopping racism, you really have to be mindful of who you do business with and what you're doing.
Myles also spends time helping up-and-coming artists by providing internships to students or recent grads. Her hope is to inspire the next generation of graphic designers.
Be brave, step on out there, and keep that strength and that smile going.
We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles
Alrighty, hello everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kiwilicious, and today we are celebrating Black History. February is always Black History Month, and it is the end of February. So I wanted to support Black-owned businesses, and I have my special guest here with me, Shelsie Myles. Thank you for joining us, Shelsie, and welcome.
Kiwi, thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be your Black History guest. And I love the little intro video you made too. I want you, would you like send that to me? Because I think I'm going to repurpose that.
Of course, absolutely. So this is Shelsie Myles, and she is a graphic designer. She owns her business, Orange Web Graphic Design.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to ask her some questions, and then, of course, the floor will be open at the end if anyone in the audience has any questions. So, first and foremost, Shelsie, we already welcomed you, but welcome again. And then, please tell us about yourself. Who is Shelsie Myles?
Well, Shelsie Miles, professionally, I am a graphic designer. I specialize in digital print and website design. I have my bachelor's of arts in graphic design. I minored in computer science for just a little bit until I really was contemplating, like, what am I doing with my life? It was very frustrating. So I decided to focus more on the website, and that's honestly my specialty. As soon as I graduated, I was fortunate enough to get a job in my field immediately. So I worked for 10 years as a professional graphic designer for a company.
Nice.
And then for the last couple of years, I've been a freelancer, mostly because of COVID and quarantine. It kind of pushed me into a freelance contract role. And I had started this business around 2015 and just using it as a source of income for a little bit. And then I kind of went into it full time in 2021.
Nice.
So it's been a fun, rocky road. But that's one of my businesses. I also have a second business. This is my shameless plug, but I have an apparel business called True Wave Apparel, where
Nice.
I take my designs and I do custom work for small businesses, as well as two Greek letter organizations in the Divine Nine. We are registered vendors for them. So we
Nice.
make their apparel.
Awesome.
So that's professionally. Personally, I am a 30 something millennial. I'm married and a fairly new mom of a 10-month
Congrats.
old. His name is Jackson, and I grew up with Kiwi. We are close, long life friends in Rockford, Illinois. That's where we from. And she's just one of my oldest friends and one of my bridesmaids in my wedding.
That is true. I remember that.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. And so,
Hmm.
the second question that I do have is when and why did you start working in graphic design? It seems like you answered some of that already, but could you just go more in depth as to the why?
The why is because I started off as an artist, really, as a child. I did a lot of drawing, and Kiwi could probably attest to this.
Yes.
Growing up, I was always sketching us and everything, and painting. So when college rolled around, my mom definitely wanted to encourage me to go into the field that I love and that I'm gifted in. So I majored in art. At the time, it was 2006, and career-wise, artists and artwork, it really wasn't nothing too lucrative in the career, like the career field, besides being an educator. And I did not want to be a teacher. So
Okay.
graphic design was a major that was available. And honestly, I went into it thinking I would probably hate it because the idea was putting my physical art into a computer and doing stuff digitally. And I was like, it's not painting. I don't think I like that. But I ended up being able to take stuff that I drew, hand drew or painted, scan it, and then put it on the screen. And it was just like working in another medium, and flowing and finding creativity and doing it digitally. And I ended up really loving it and started doing research about careers and saw that there was a lot of lucrative branches that branch off from graphic design. So, yep, continue to pursue it, continue to love it, and really kind of make it my own.
Awesome. That is really great. And then just kind of to go off topic because I see your paintings in the background and those look so great. Would you mind talking about those? I see a picture of you. And for those who don't know, I was a huge Sailor Moon fan. I remember watching Sailor Moon with you, Shelsie, growing up as kids. And so I see Sailor Moon there and I'm super jealous that you have that on your wall. But would you mind discussing the paintings on your wall?
Yeah, I feel like artwork also from different artists and everything. So not all of these are mine. I know that one's mine. It's a self-portrait, and so is that. That is a pour art, where you take acrylic fluidly and then you blow it and make it, do its thing. And so I got fascinated with that. But of course, this artist was from Comic Con in Toronto last
Nice.
year. My husband went and brought me back that. And I'm also just a fan of beautiful black art. So there's a site where you can just get digital prints of black artwork and whatnot. Um, my office has all type of stuff around all the artwork that I did in college and even in high school. A lot of things that I like to see how my art progressed over time. So seeing things that
Yes.
I drew from when I was little all the way up until now is just really good for me to keep around, and it's a reminder of how much I've grown and continue to grow.
That's great. Well, thank you for that. And I do
Mhm.
have another question for you. So, is working in graphic design the same as being an artist? What's the difference?
So, graphic design is a field of art. So, yes, it is the same as being an artist,
Okay.
but it's just like, art has different mediums. So, you have painters, you have drawers, you have sculptors, then you have graphic designers. And the difference between those is just the medium that they work on. And so, graphic design itself is just doing your things digitally. Like I explained, you can scan your artwork or take photos of it and then put it onto a computer screen into a program. And just kind of get a little bit free, with how to create. Or you can, honestly, it's a good platform to mix media. You can make textures, add, say, illustrations with photographs and paintings and do all kinds of little things. And it makes it a lot easier. It's not in the physical since it's on a computer, but because we're on the digital age, it's actually was quite a progressive way of doing artwork, especially at the time when I majored and decided to go into this field.
Okay, so to play off of that question, because I
Mhm.
know that I've had several businesses as well, and I still have some things on the side. I know with digital art, you have to get that copywritten. So, for someone who would is an artist and wants to do digital design like yourself, what is the process
Mhm.
for copyright? Are you uploading multiple works of art and getting copyright for all of it, or are you doing one piece of art per copyright? I guess.
You can, if when you go online, and it's really a good practice, and also just like artistic politeness for you to consult the other artists if you are borrowing a graphic or an image from somebody else. Sometimes it requires you to get a license to use it. Say if I wanted to do Disney and Star Wars, if I wanted to make artwork and repurpose it and sell that, I can always take an image and just make artwork. But for the purpose of trying to like sell it and remake it and put it online, you'll probably need a license. So if I were to work with Disney, I would need a license to use their likenesses and the images, even if I were to put my spin on it. If not, then that is a copyright issue and they can come for you legally.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like you can get on Etsy, there are tons of people who provide graphics, and images or sketches or drawings, and they allow you to use them. Sometimes you can use them a certain amount of times, and then they require you to make another purchase so they can get their contribution. Sometimes you can download them and use them as long as you don't use them for selling purposes. So really, it's just a practice of courtesy. Yeah. And as an artist and somebody who makes work and puts it online, I want to practice that because I would hate for somebody to rip my stuff and then go make money off of it. Then, that's a copyright issue on my end. So
Perfect.
yeah, so really it's also bad practice just go on Google and steal an image because
Yeah.
it's technically stealing and
Yeah.
somebody probably will come after you for that one.
Yeah, even for me, I look up. There's plenty of sites that say, what is it, copyright free, or what is it called, like royalty free. There's like sites that
Hmm.
say like royalty free images, royalty free music.
Hmm.
When I do my live streams, I play royalty free music because yes, you
Yeah.
don't want to take someone's work. So thank you for the information on that. So that's if you work with someone else's images. So what about your own? So like that picture behind you of yourself. Now, are you
Yeah.
uploading all of your own works of arts to the U.S. Copyright Office all at once, or do you do it per artwork?
Sometimes I do it. I honestly, I haven't. The only thing that I've really copyrighted is my logo and
Okay,
my logos for my business.
got it.
But you can do it per artwork. And visuals, you can. What happens is you go through a process of submission, and then it takes months to get this done. Anything with the government takes a long time. So People will take a minute to go ahead and review it, and also it allows other people with copyrights to actually see it. Because with my logo, I actually could not copyright it because the word orange in it is actually copyrighted by another
Oh
company.
wow. Someone
Hmm.
copyrighted Orange. Well, that's kind of like
Right.
the happy birthday song. Remember, like back in the day
Yeah.
when we were kids, everyone sang it, and now you can't sing it. So
Hmm.
when you go to, restaurants, they say they do a rendition of it, but
Yeah.
someone copywrote happy birthday.
Yeah. And they've got the rights to it because
Wow.
legally, I mean, I could pursue it because orange is such it's a color. Like, how can you
Correct.
copyright something that's in the dictionary and that's
Absolutely.
used universally? But, they have the time and the money to make this a long, court situation. And that's how people, honestly, who smaller businesses may lose that situation because I don't have the time or the money to invest in that.
Right.
But they set the terms to say, well, you can use this word and everything, but you cannot just put copyrighted ownership on it. And I was like, cool. So
Okay.
sometimes those things can be settled amongst people who, have that if they're really, amicable about, wanting to do that.
Okay. Thank you for that information. I'm going to ask you
Well,
one more question, and then it looks like we have a question in the audience too. So, the question that I have is, what made you decide to start your own business as opposed to working for organizations?
well, for my own business, pretty much it was being in control of my income. And what really decided that was the pandemic. When I was working for the business I was working for, layoffs happened, which was very common at that time.
Right.
And so was laid off, and it was only for like a few weeks to maybe 2 months. However, that was a gap in my income, and because of that, it really had me reflecting on how wow, I have all of my income dependent on this company. And, professionally, they don't owe me anything. It's an agreement, but they could not afford to pay their employees. So, the employees had to figure out their own way. So I just thought it was irresponsible for me financially to just have all my eggs in one basket as far as my income. So I wanted to go ahead and just start my own thing so I can be in full control of my income as well as my time. Life changes started to happen as well. My mom had a stroke a couple years prior, and I'm her only child, so I needed to be there to help her a lot more. I was taking off work and ran out of PTO, so it was like I needed the flexibility of my time as well as the control of my income. So I was putting a plan together and was like, how can I kind of format my new life to support myself, and also just be able to always be in control of my income. So that's really what the starting of my business was about, just controlling my income and bringing in more money, and changing my mindset about how to live. Because when you go to college and you get a degree, you're told to just, start working and get a job. And
Right.
that's the lifestyle, and you set your mind on one certain income. But the beautiful thing is that when I started this business and decided to work full time, within the first 9 months, I made my salary back from my job
Wow.
that would have taken
Good
me a
for
year
you.
to make. So by the end of that year, that 9 months, I was like, wow, my bills are covered, everything's taken care of. Now I got 3 months of time. Like, I don't know what to do with myself. I can make more money, or I can take time off, or have an extended vacation, maybe focus on education, get some training, add some stuff to my resume. But it was awesome just to have that freedom.
That's good. So I'm definitely going to pivot off of this question because we're talking about work. So a lot of people, including myself or someone out there, like they may have a skill and they want to
Mhm.
start a business. And like you said, you're having the availability to be your own employer, have your own time, and make
Mhm.
your own income. But a lot of people are afraid. So did you have to have a certain amount of money? What would you recommend to someone that wants to start a business and has a trade skill like
Mhm.
IT or graphic design like yourself, but they just don't know what to do and how to start a business?
You can go two routes as far as like the finance side. You can bootstrap, which is use your own funds to kick off all your expenses, or of course you can do business loan. And that route, and then of course there's other routes, but those are like really like the primary ones that I was looking at. But I ended up bootstrapping, and all you really do is make a list of your expenses. There's other factors like locally, there are business licenses that might need to be attained for you to do business and make
Correct.
money. Sometimes you have to register with the Department of Finance within your state. So if
Hmm.
there's any taxes to be paid, you can organize how you want to do that. Definitely recommend that you get all that legality taken care of. But then there's also the marketing side. For you to get work done, you need to, or at least advertise yourself some way or another, social media, website. But I definitely recommend getting very, very familiar with the business side first,
Good.
before you even start to think about, because it gets real fanciful to think about running your own business and having your time. And I know I just highlighted all those beautiful factors on it,
Right.
but there's a real side to it that requires a lot of work, and also a lot of time management on your end to really understand how it can work successfully. Because a lot of small businesses launch and then 2 years later, you don't see them no more.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, really, those are my points on the matter.
Well, I appreciate that. So, for someone who wants to get into a business, I just want to reiterate, have your trader skill. And then before you even start, look at what you need to do legally first because you always want to start off right so you don't have to redo it.
Mhm.
So, like Shelsie said, look in your state, see most places to legally do businesses or sell goods, you need a business license. You may need to register with like a chamber, I don't know, of commerce or someone. It depends on your state. And then just, I would
Mhm.
say, just make a list, right? Like, make a list of what you want to do, the cost, and what you need to do legally. Get all the legal stuff done first so you're legitimate, and then
Yeah.
go on with everything else. Like, be legit, too
Mhm.
legit to quit first.
Yes. Do it first because going back and having to fix that is just messy.
Correct. Okay, good.
Mhm.
So do it right. I'm going to ask a question from the audience, then I have one more question, and then we are going to take a short break. So
Cool.
we have a question from the audience from Voltinum. This is actually Amir. If you remember who Amir is, that's my nephew, my youngest nephew. He says, "Quick question: if you ever see this, what got you to pursue your dreams to become a graphic designer? Did you have a class that made you like this? Made you like the curriculum when in high school?"
Not in high school. Graphic design, I got introduced to it in college. And like I said, growing up and in high school, just drawing. I like to draw, I like to sketch. And because I liked it so much, my mom, and it's good to have people who support you. You have a parent that, gets behind you, because she was like, you don't need to pursue nothing else but art. And I felt free enough and comfortable enough to do that. And in that, you just start planning, because in order for me to make a life with it, I had to figure out how to make money with it, because it's easy to love something, but you can also start to hate it when you have to start making money doing it.
That's true.
So you have to find out or figure out kind of how those things work well together. But yeah, in high school, it was just I started off loving a thing and then started making plans about, okay, how can I build my life on doing this all the time?
Okay, thank you for that. So, Amir, I hope you heard her response. And actually, I believe Amir and my oldest nephew, Michael, they both draw. And I thought
Yeah,
that Michael had asked for your information like not too long ago because you do internships sometimes. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Me and Michael talked.
Okay.
And I told him, I let him know I need to check back in with him and see how he's doing. But let him know if I ever open back up to having, intern or even need some little help like that. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And that's what I do also. I take internships and I like working with people who are students because I didn't have a lot of opportunities when I was a student to have on hand experience. And then when I went to get a job, they wanted experience, even though I was fresh out of college. So most of the time, you're going to have to make your own opportunities to get your experience in the way. So if you are an artist, you can send or go to my website, give me your information. I usually keep it on file, but allow opportunities for people to work, and be able to have opportunities to get that experience.
Awesome. So hopefully, if anyone here is watching and they are in school, and we were just talking about the internships that Shelsie does internships, and then you can go to her website. The website is actually linked in my chat. So if you need help with that, or if you want to take a look at that, you can. So I'm going to ask one more question, and then we're going to take a short break. So the next question that I have is you mentioned in your interview with Way 31 News that you try to target women-owned businesses as well as businesses of color. What made you choose to target this demographic?
Mainly because I'm part of both of those demos, and I understand the struggle when it comes to marketing yourself or your business in a pool where you are those particular minorities. When you have a beautiful brand, beautiful imagery, a beautiful logo, you look more professional, you will stand out more. And that's pretty much the issue being a woman in a certain field or a minority in a certain field. that you don't stand out or it's just you get overlooked. So I have a gift in that particular area. I want to make sure that those type of businesses and organizations look professional so they get a fighting chance. And also, with those groups, I kind of want them to also be confident in who they are. As far as if you're a minority-owned business, don't shy away from that. If you're a woman-owned businesses, don't shy away from that. Because we are taught to assimilate a lot as a minority in this country. You change the way you look or the way you talk because you want to be more lucrative to the minority. I mean, to the majority. So I want to help businesses to kind of walk in that confidence because the authenticity and me being spiritual, I feel like God blesses you more when you are exactly who He made you to be.
Amen.
It allows you to be yourself and get what you're supposed to get when you are truly who you are. So that's my little, thing I'd like to do for the businesses, build that confidence because I've had a lot of customers come to me with, say, if you are, I had a customer who was a Black man business. He has a business for cleaning supplies and his logo is pretty much like a Black man, and he was like, somebody once told me that I need to kind of tone this down and not do this imagery. I'm like, if this is you, then I definitely agree you should do this.
Yeah.
This is what people are going to get because you don't also want to work with businesses who then see you and not know exactly who you were. If people
Right.
don't want to work with you because of your demographic, you also don't want to do business with them anyway.
Right.
So
That's
mhm.
nice. So being true to who they are and not hiding and trying to, as you said, kind of tone it down so to fit with the majority. So just be true to who you are, true to your brand, and not be afraid. So I like that a lot. Thank you for answering that. So thank you all. We are going to take a quick short break. We'll go back to some of the advertisement, well, really just videos of her brand. And then, of course, the URL for Shelsie's site is in the chat, as well as where you can contact her and follow her on her socials, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles has been using this pastime hobby to her advantage, taking her artistic abilities digital.
In school, you got to figure out, all right, now I need to figure out how to do what I love and make a lifestyle and a career with it.
While studying at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Myles started freelancing. She eventually filed for a business license and developed Orange Web graphic design.
And it's really just digital art. I love it. I pick the areas that I like to work with because there's many fields of graphic design, but I like designing brands like logos as well as doing advertising and apparel design.
When COVID-19 hit, Myles, who spent most of her career working for others, chose to invest more time into her business. What was just a side gig finally became her full-time job.
I work with small businesses. I target women-owned businesses as well as businesses of color, and also larger contractors for the government as well as the federal government. So I like to work as a contractor as well.
Myles takes pride in giving back to the community who supports her. She says she built her success by getting out and about and joining organizations like the Black Chamber of Commerce.
Very particular well as help to grow it. To be intentional about stopping racism, you really have to be mindful of who you do business with and what you're doing.
Myles also spends time helping up-and-coming artists by providing...
We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles has been using this pastime hobby to her advantage, taking her artistic abilities digital.
In school, you gotta figure out, all right, now I need to figure out how to do what I love and make a lifestyle and a career with it.
While studying at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Myles started freelancing. She eventually filed for a business license and developed owned web graphic design.
And it's really just digital art. You know, I love it. I pick the areas that I like to work with. There's many fields of graphic design that I like. Designing brands like logos, as well as doing advertising and apparel design.
When COVID-19 hit, Myles, who spent most of her career working for others, chose to invest more time into her business. What was just a side gig finally became her full-time job.
I work with small businesses. I try to target women-owned businesses as well as businesses of color, and also larger contractors for the government as well as the federal government. So I like to work as a contractor as well.
Myles takes pride in giving back to a community who supports her. She says she built her success by getting out and about and joining organizations like the Black Chamber of Commerce.
It's a very particular demographic because, you know, there's just a lot of economic, holding back of the Black community in different areas. So it's important to me to represent that, as well as help to grow it. To be intentional about stopping racism, you really have to be mindful of who you do business with and what you're doing.
Myles also spends time helping up-and-coming artists by providing internships to students or recent grads. Her hope is to inspire the next generation of graphic designers.
Be brave, step on out there, and keep that strength and that smile going.
We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles has been using this pastime hobby to her advantage, taking her artistic abilities digital.
In school, you got to figure out, all right, now I need to figure out how to do what I love and make a lifestyle and a career with it.
While studying at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Myles started freelancing. She eventually filed for a business license and developed owned web graphic design.
And it's really just digital art. I love it. I pick the areas that I like to work with because there's many fields of graphic design, but I like designing brands like logos, as well as doing advertising and apparel design.
When COVID-19
well as the federal government. So I like to work as a contractor as well.
Myles takes pride in giving back to the community who supports her. She says she earned her success by getting out and about and joining organizations like the Black
Okay, everyone, thank you. We are back here with Shelsie Myles. For those who are just joining, I am interviewing Shelsie Myles. She is a business owner and graphic designer for the business Orange Web Graphic Design. And I am just asking her some questions. And of course, if you have any questions of your own, especially to the people who do draw themselves, I would love for you all to ask questions. So the next question that I have for you, Shelsie, is what are some pros and cons of being a graphic design business owner?
Rose, I would definitely say some of the stuff I already mentioned, being my own boss and managing my time. Um, and also, I like the fact that I can pick projects that I want to work on, work with people that I want to work with. When you are pretty much an employee, you get thrown the workload, you got to do it. But
Right.
I can pick stuff that feels good to work on. I tend to try to get projects that are like almost like charity or giving projects. I like working with organizations that are nonprofits at
Yes.
times because those are just the things that make me feel like I'm giving back. Which means makes me feel like I'm operating in my purpose of my gift is to kind of give it to do better things in the world. So those are the wonderful pros. Cons, being a business owner means you wear all the hats. So I am the accountant. I am the marketing director. I am head of admin. I work as HR when it comes to dealing with subcontractors that I have people that I work with or interns, and as well as head designer. And a con of that is even when can delegate those things to other people, I still have to take time away from the thing I initially love, which is to create the artwork.
Got it.
So being a business owner, I ideally, in one point in time when I was thinking about doing this, I was like, oh, I get to just do and paint and make and do what I want all day. But not really because business running takes so much time that there may be weeks where I may not even do any design work because, like, especially right now, beginning first quarter of this year, it's tax season, it's license renewal for me, it's
So it's business,
getting
it's
more.
management.
It's business, yeah. It's getting the marketing ready and all my social media content ready to the person that manages my account. So I try to get that kind of early per quarter and get it ready for the whole year. So it's a lot of planning up front if you want, marketing success to happen. So that's just a con. It's just me getting away from the thing that I love to do, which is the making of the art, but it's the running of the business part, which I've gotten good at and I love it as well, but it's not the initial love that I have.
Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate and paraphrase that for people who are listening in, especially like to the nephews and anyone else that is drawing and they want to look at starting their own business. So you said some of the cons may be the actual management of the business. So you initially, it seems like you are truly an artist at heart and you enjoy what you do, which is, I hope so, especially with you making your business, but you enjoy what you do and not
Mhm.
every day. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't get to do that every day because, like you said, you have this tax season and you have to manage your own accountant, you have to do the administration and everything.
Mhm.
So, just so people are aware, if you are starting a business and no matter what you're in, I mean, obviously, to keep most of the money to yourself, you're going to do a lot of it. Maybe later
Mhm.
on, if you want to outsource some of those tasks, you can. But honestly, the more stuff you can keep to yourself, the better, right?
Yeah, that's it. Like from those times where I just want to actually keep that income, I end up doing the things. Sometimes I'm like, I want my time more than I want this money. So let me go ahead and pay somebody
There you
to
go.
manage my accounts and stuff, my accountant stuff, or do the social media. Yeah, I'm glad I passed that one off to somebody else because you also do better when you're not trying to do everything. You can't give 100% when you got 50 things that you're trying to do at one time. Even when I'm designing, if I'm designing, but I'm thinking about deadlines for business licenses, I'm trying to hurry up and get one thing done. So delegating as far as business owning is actually more helpful. Keeps you to be able to do the thing that you're supposed to be doing instead of trying to do everything at half mast or
Okay,
less.
so then to pivot off of that, would you say it's important to choose critical? So, what are the critical services that you absolutely would not outsource, and what are the ones you were like, okay, I need help, I'm not trying to do 100 things at once?
Mhm. Anything design related is something that I tend to want to spearhead simply because that's my area. But like I said, I started incorporating interns or junior designers because there are little things and smaller projects that can get done even a lot faster if I just hand that off to somebody and they can get the experience. Or, just it's easier on me. Um, the thing that I definitely outsourced to get a professional that was not, something that was in my ballpark is an accountant
There you
and
go.
bookkeeper, managing my books and my financial transactions and handling my taxes because another point is being a business owner. It's like, how do I file my taxes if I'm a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, which I am, but I've been both of those. And you file your taxes under your own social security number. And then when I got married, that was a little more complicated because you file jointly with that same social security number, but then you
Yeah.
also have to file your taxes under that with you and your spouse. So I was like, I don't want to be in trouble with the IRS. Those are the problems I don't want. So let me
Right.
figure out how to deal with an accountant. And has somebody doing that, it makes it such a breeze. All I got to do is give them my information. And also somebody who knows legally how to do that better, also knows benefits and shortcuts and even things that you qualify for that you didn't even think of. I think I've gotten more money back on taxes and financially benefited better by having somebody who knew what they were doing than me trying to figure it out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was gonna
Hmm.
say, I mean, I just was married as well, so it changes. And yeah, I would definitely say financial stuff outsourced because you want it done right. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice to find a professional. We have a professional tax person we go to, not someone's friend's uncle who knows how to do taxes. Because I have had someone file my taxes in the past. It's like, oh, it's a friend of somebody and they're just doing it, but they're not certified. So when you get a
yeah,
certified professional that knows what they're doing, yeah, it's like you get money back because they know the
hmm,
system and they know how to do it properly. So that's really
right.
good. I see a couple of comments and questions, so I'll say those and move on to the next. But
Okay.
DJ, aka Short Black Dude, says Shelsie should give herself a raise. She's working too hard out there.
You're
Thank you
right,
for that.
DJ. Oh my gosh. I should get all them salaries and all those positions.
There you go. And
But I
then,
also don't want to steal from the company.
exactly, yep, true. And then Voltanom has another question. Like in animation, were there any projects that had multiple people work on it simultaneously?
Yeah. I've contracted with a company where I was part of a design team. And it's been really fun doing that. There'll be people who are working together on a logo or a brand project or a social media post or campaign. And we have a similar guideline that we have to follow, whether it be the colors of the themes, the shapes and the images, but watching people put forth their different perspective or design aspect was very fun and interesting too, because if we got the same list of directions, it's just fun to watch somebody else think about it completely differently than I would, and we come up with two different products.
That's awesome. That's
So
kind of
I
like the
actually,
game of telephone, then, right? Where you someone
mhm,
starts off with a message, and then by the time it gets to the end, it's completely different. But it's not in a bad way. With artists, it's just
right,
their thought process and artistic process is different than yours.
mm,
So I think that would be
yeah.
interesting to see too.
And I enjoy that actually. I love working with other artists because I like seeing how they perceived, a list of instructions or even something visually that's different than mine.
That's really good. Well, thank you for that. And if you guys have any more questions or comments, just keep them coming. And then the next question that I have for you, Shelsie, is if you could start over, would you continue down the path of graphic design or would you choose another business venture?
Honestly, I think I would stay in the same. I would stay in the same field. Like being 19 years old and in college and not knowing what I wanted to do initially. I honestly think I made a really good call at that moment,
Yeah,
um, to kind of focus and do graphic design and lean on into there because it's such a field that branches out in so many different areas. I have a friend who also graduated with the same degree as me, but when she went into UX design, user experience, we got the exact same bachelor's, took the same course load, but there's technical fields that you can get into photography, you can get into web design, you can continue to do marketing, you can do artwork, and just sell your art. So it is a very versatile field. The only thing I probably would go back and do is either minor in business or maybe go back and get a master's in business administration because that is the area that I needed to compound or that combined with my graphic design to go forth with my business.
Okay, so would you suggest that? And that makes sense because earlier you were talking about the business aspect of for the pros and cons of being your own business owner as opposed to working for a company. So would
Mhm.
you suggest to someone who is similar trade that you're in, like graphic design, to also take a class in business so they have that knowledge on how to manage their own business?
Yeah, that's only if they want to have their own business.
Right.
Some people, you always offset with your minors in school, offset it with what you think you want to do.
Right.
Because for a while I minored in computer science, and because I was thinking I just want to do web design, which introduced me to a lot more coding. But that also let me know that that was not what I wanted to do. I then got to C++ programming, and I was like, this is not where it's at. I like
Wow.
my head was hurting. That was not for me. But at least I learned that that was the case. But yeah, as far as business management, if that's what you want to do, you want to start your own business, then go ahead. Yeah, get some courses in that. And honestly, I think it would be a good life course to do it. In college, I wish they had courses that taught you about financial management and accounting, just in general, because I feel like that's a life skill that people need, not just for their businesses, but for themselves.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for that. All right, we have a few more questions, then we'll take another short break and then just open the floor to more questions and or just have a free chat here. So the next
Mhm.
question I have for you, which I was laughing at when I made this, but it's true because of
Mhm.
everything that's going on. But with all these AI generated apps that can take your
Mhm.
picture and generate dozens of photos for you in seconds, is AI a problem for people like yourself who work in graphic design?
I mean, it could definitely be a problem for those who make a primary living or income on doing custom illustrations and, photo editing and photography. But it also can definitely help, be an assist for a graphic designer. 'Cause I think for me and you, there was a project that I really could not get to illustrate something for you. And you outsourced it to something that can generate the image that you wanted.
Hmm.
And sometimes I do that too for if I have a larger project, but I need something a little quicker because to illustrate, at least for me, it takes a minute.
Yeah.
Um, Hand drawing, and even getting in Photoshop and doing a serious like photoshopping job or photo editing takes a minute. So honestly, if I can cut it real short by, making that step shorter, it can move on to the next part of the project.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely it can kind of get into bothersome for some graphic designers. But for some of us, it also can help with the workload. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I remember those AI generated apps, especially on Instagram. I mean, I did one. I think you did one
Yeah.
too. We all did one. We put in our photos and it AI generated everything. So I could see, like,
Right.
yeah, that could hurt the artists who, like, I was on Twitch for a long time first, and then I barely came over to YouTube. But like the bits and things like that, or just yeah, the what is it, the portraits? How
Hmm.
AI can just generate some really good portraits so quick, and then
Right.
yeah, that's a lot of work and time and effort that an artist puts into that work just to have it like
Yeah.
taken so quick. And then
Hmm.
obviously the person's going to go with the AI, maybe the AI cheap version as opposed to paying the artist. So I feel for
Yeah.
them, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And then Amir says, I'm guessing it is AI is only a problem when it's used for the wrong reasons.
Oh, definitely. Yes. And there's been a lot of wrong AI usage lately as people have gotten impersonated and
Yep.
their images copied, and you can do some really wild things as far as somebody's likeness and putting it on just anything. So definitely there's a bit of integrity that goes into that when you have that freedom, because I technically can Photoshop and do the same thing, but my integrity kicks in. I'm like, I'm not trying to manipulate something or this imagery of this person for any like negligible means. I tend to Photoshop and do pranks on my friends, which is fun, but that's about it.
You should do me. I was like, you have my permission. You should do me and do a goofy one. And it's like, here you go. I'll be like, oh wow.
Yeah, do I have not Photoshopped you?
That's true. You have it. I was like, you have my permission. You can Photoshop me. Photoshop bomb me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna. It's gonna be funny. Okay,
Uh-oh. It's like it's live. I said it. I gave her permission.
you did. It's on record. Hmm.
All right, so just a few more questions and then we'll take another quick break. But what advice would you give someone? Well, actually, I kind of asked this already, but I guess if you have anything else you want to add to that, what advice would you give someone who would like to start their own business in graphic design?
Just the same things I said earlier. Do your research, and also, yeah, get some training in business, whether it's through education. Sometimes everybody can't afford to go to school though, but a
Right.
mentor or mentorship, that's actually a pretty good way as well. I was looking for a mentor when I started my business.
Good.
And I really couldn't. There was a lot of business resources as well locally. I think you mentioned earlier Chamber of Commerce.
Hmm.
But in your cities, you should have a small business, something or other,
Yeah.
where you can get resources to seminars, training. Even I had one locally that is like an organization that connects you with a professional in a similar field, so they can talk to you and advise you, about the things that they've gone through. So it's the same way you would do with any other venture. Just do your research, pros and cons, and be open minded to it as well. Because we get idealistic when people want to launch a business. We think about the good stuff, but we need to be honest and think about the realistic stuff that comes
That's
with
true.
it.
That's very
And
true.
also, I would say time management. If you want to start your business, you need to pick up some skills in time management, because the biggest shift, at least my struggle when I first started, was learning how, when I'm not, your employer provides you a schedule. You clock in at a certain time, you clock out, you take your lunch break. But when you are running a business on your own, it is difficult not to be working around the clock.
Right.
It is, you'll be thinking about it when you're doing things, you'll be trying to do stuff, you sit in your office late, next thing you know, it's midnight, and you're getting up at 6 a.m. to get back at it. And I burnt myself out for about 6 months,
Oh wow.
doing that, like almost to the point of weeping, because I was not taking breaks and doing mental health breaks and having a good work life balance. So I would definitely say that, because you'll get miserable real fast.
And you would think you would have a good work life balance since you're working for yourself, but it's true, just like working from home, which is, I recently left my
Yeah.
employer, hallelujah, finally got a remote job. And
Yeah.
yeah, but honestly, I am so productive at home, and I almost don't get up and take a break because I don't have the noise, I don't have people around me, and I'm comfortable and I'm in my office. So I can see that
Mhm.
for a business owner, not having the time management because you're in your zone, and then the next thing you know, you've been sitting for 10, 12 hours and you haven't been, getting up, and so you just have to take time to take care of yourself.
Yeah. There's no labor laws that say you can only work a certain amount of hours. It's at your leisure. So you go at your leisure, especially if, like me, you're obsessed with getting your tasks done. And if it's not done by 5 or 6 o'clock, you're gonna push until it's done for the night.
Right. That makes
Hmm.
sense. Well, thank you for that. And then I just have a couple more questions and we'll go back to another short break. The next question is, what are your plans for your business in 2024?
Ooh, 2024. Now that I'm a mom, and I've actually been on like on an extended maternity leave, like for the last 9 to 10 months, taking projects as needed, but spending a lot of time with my baby and family. So I've been wanting to do more passive income streams. My True Wave apparel business is one source of that. And I've been playing around with the idea of opening a digital download shop. Just
Nice.
taking my artwork, it'll allow me some time to like paint and draw kind of endlessly, scan them and put them online for sale for people to use.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's another stream of passive income, and yeah, so that's really what 2024 is, trying to get some other ideas for not actively making money. So if I can relax and let the money flow to me, that'll be beautiful. And
Like
as I have
money
more
flow 2024, money
money flow,
flow.
money flows, without me actively having to work. Yeah, and also I wanted to pursue a better work-life balance. I wanted to get into a phase of enjoying life better, and that's just more of a personal thing. And in order to do that, I would have more time for myself to be able to vacation. And honestly, I would love to come just see you, Kiwi, out in where you
Yes.
are, and visit your sister, and let our kids and families know each other better. And that'll be only if I'm available to do that. Travel and invest time in family. But since we live a world where we have to work to live, we end up working hard and not living as well as we should. So I'm trying to offset that balance for 2024.
That makes sense. Yes, I need to go out there to see you as well. I've never been out there to see you in your area, so I need to come out. Like, I mean, we were together obviously when we grew up, and you came out for,
Hmm.
my mom's wedding and things like that, but I have not been out there to see you, so I will try this year. I not try, I will go out there
Thank you.
to go see you.
Yes,
And yes, you need to come out here to the
I
West
do.
Coast and hang out with us.
Balance, girl. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Last question that I have for you is, how can
Yeah.
someone contact you for business inquiries?
Business inquiries. So you can go to my website, which is also good for you to check out my portfolio, see if you even like my work, you're feeling it.
Absolutely.
You go to orangewdesign.com. I have a personal portfolio that is shelsiemyles.com as well. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram. You can message me at orangewdesigner.com or orangewdesigner, yeah, not .com. And you can email me at designer@orangewdesign.com.
Perfect. I just repasted that in the chat. Your URL to your website is pinned in chat, but it says, yeah, you can check out Chelsea's artwork at chelsiemyles.com or orangewdesign.com. Follow her on her Instagram and Facebook at orangewdesigner. And Amir says, you better, Mrs. Kiwi. I will. I plan to go out there to visit Mrs. Shelsie here. So thank you so much. We are going to take another short break, folks. And if you have any questions, be sure to type them out in the chat. And then we have a little something special coming up that even Shelsie does not know about. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
This morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
Initially an artist, so
We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who
very particular demographic because there's just a lot of economic, holding back of the Black community in different areas. So
we wrap
it's important
up
to
our
me to
series
represent
this
that,
morning with a
as
story
well as
about
help
an
to grow
artist
and
who
to be
found a
intentional
way to
about
design
stopping
her
racism.
own
You really have
success.
to be mindful of who you do business with. And which I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles has been using this pastime hard, making her artilleries digital.
In school, you got to figure out, all right, now I need to figure out how to do what I love and make a lifestyle and a career with it.
While studying at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Myles started freelancing. She eventually filed for a business license and developed Orange Web Graphic Design.
And it's really just digital art. I love the areas that I like to work with because there's many fields of graphic design, but I like designing brands like logos as well as doing advertising and apparel design.
When COVID-19 hit, Myles, who spent most of her career working for others, chose to invest more time into her business. It was just a side gig finally became her full-time job.
I work with small businesses. I try to target women-owned businesses as well as businesses of color, and also larger contractors for the government as well as the federal government. So I like to work as a contractor as well.
Myles takes
We wrap up our series this morning with a story about an artist who found a way to design her own success.
I'm initially an artist, so painting and drawing is just my pastime.
Shelsie Myles has been using this pastime hobby to her advantage, taking her artistic.
All right, welcome everyone. We are back, and I have exhausted all the questions. I had 10 questions for you, and I asked a few more, and I have nothing else to ask you. So if anyone else has any questions about starting your own business, graphic design, or just in general, obviously keep them respectful. Put them in the chat and let us know. And then I have like a couple of drawings actually that Shelsie made when we were kids. And I was like, oh, I actually have these. So I wanted to show them. But I don't know if you remember this one. This is of parrots because I always had birds growing up and I still do to this day. So this is oh, you don't remember?
Actually, I do now looking at it. Wow, girl, I forgot all about that.
I don't know what grade we were in. Maybe we were in junior high or high school even. I think junior high or maybe even younger than that. But yeah.
I think the bottom one was that your actual bird though, like
yeah, I had a bird named Tweety, and this was Tweety.
Yeah.
So this looked exactly like Tweety. He was a budgie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, girl! I wish I put a date on that.
Let me see on the back. Yeah, it doesn't have a date. You just put, to me from you or whatever. And then this one also does not have a date, but this one. And I had to cross out because you had like my government name and stuff. But you made this one too.
Wow, that's an oldie.
Yeah,
We might have been
super old.
I was in class sketching that. I know I passed that to you as a note between classes. I know I did that.
But yeah, so I remember that. I remember growing up, you would always draw. And of course, something that's really funny is growing up, we were super competitive. So I hated losing. And we would play games like Sorry and stuff. And I would get so mad, just knock all the pieces off the board if I lost. Man. I was a Sorry loser when I was a kid.
You were a Sorry loser playing Sorry. And knocked my board. We were on my deck in my backyard, and my pieces went in between the deck. And because I was a petty little kid, I used to try to beat you just so I could make you mad. I wasn't even trying to win. I was like, I want her to flip some stuff.
Trifling. Oh my gosh. Any other memories that you have of your experience with art or with us or anything else that you would like to share?
No, just evolving with art. Like just even now, things that I'm doing are just different than what I was doing younger. Like it's a field that keeps evolving, so it's always important just to stay in tune with what's going on. And do stuff that you love, because if you're trying to make your art look like anything else or somebody else or doing it because it's a trend, it's not going to be great. Like it is not going to look good. It needs to have you shining all the way through it. So
you need to find your own art. Like you need your art to express yourself and not try and copy off. Like I guess when you're learning, I would say you're like, if you're in class and you're learning like different strokes or whatever, or styles, would you say it's okay to kind of sample until you get your groove, but eventually you want to become your own, right?
Definitely. Even in school, they're teaching you different techniques. So if the assignment is to follow that technique, follow it just so you can know how to do it. And then you could take that technique and then add it to different stuff. Because I've done that in paintings where it'll have a certain style because I learned, stippling or blending a certain way in class. And then I would go and like, okay, well, I want to stipple here in this canvas, but then I also want to add a photo like I learned in photography. And then me being a graphic designer, I can just scan it all and mesh it together and make it beautiful. So yes, learning, even like copying and imitating is a process, but it adds to you being able to put your own styles and things.
That makes sense. Thank you. And then the last thing I have, which is kind of a surprise, but for those who are in the audience, I am giving away some gift cards just as a thank you. As I said, we are celebrating Black History Month and supporting Black-owned businesses. So first and foremost, thank you to Shelsie Myles for being here. And, support some of your own local Black businesses. Like she said, we're not represented enough in media and mainstream. So make sure that you support African-American owned businesses. yes, February is Black History Month, and it's almost over. It's the shortest month of the year too, but it's almost over. So I also just want to thank you all and support you all too for supporting me. So if you're here and you're watching and supporting Shelsie, of course, support us all. But if you're here and you're watching, all I need you to do, the first person that puts in February in the chat will get the first Amazon gift card. So if you're listening and you're here and you're watching the live stream, type February in chat. Shelsie, you don't count. And I will give away that first Amazon gift card. You picked up the phone like February. So for those who are watching, again, quick little giveaway. I have 2 Amazon gift cards, but the first person to put February in chat, I will give you that first Amazon gift card. So all you have to type in is February, if anyone is there still, because you know people walk away. First person to put February in chat. Let's go. You gonna tell your husband like put February in chat so we can get that Amazon gift card.
Right. It's right there.
Oh dang. All right, anybody type February in chat. The first person that types in February will get an Amazon gift card. Draw a picture of me dunking a basketball over Kiwi and Amir. If you're here, DJ, did you hear? So we're doing a gift card giveaway as a surprise. I have 2 Amazon gift cards. The first person to put February in the chat will get the Amazon gift card. I have 2. So the first person to type in February gets it. Let's see if anyone's listening. Let's see if anyone's listening. That's the first test. Who's listening and paying attention? Like dun dun dun. We need some freaking countdown music here.
Man,
it is hot over here too. It's been like up and down. I don't know what it is like for weather out there, but it's been like high 60s. First and foremost, our winter was raining out here, which we know we're the desert. We're not equipped for rain, so when it rains, it's like Armageddon over here. February. All right, DJ got it. So DJ, stay tuned. I have your contact info, so I will be sending you a text message with the e-gift card for Amazon. This is for a $20 e-gift card for Amazon. So DJ won that first one. So now for the second, I have one more Amazon gift card to give away. It is an e-gift card. The next person to type in the chat Black History will get the last card. So if you are a viewer and you're watching, type Black History in the chat to win the next Amazon gift card as a giveaway. DJ, you won the first one, so you can't do it again.
I'm gonna give y'all 60 seconds because I could use a gift card.
That is too funny. Man. Well, I have a thank you for you, but that'll be offline, okay. So you don't have to worry about the Amazon gift card. If you want an Amazon gift card, I can give you one, but it'll be more than $20.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
All right, so giveaway Black History all day. So Amir and DJ. Well, thank you all for watching, tuning in, and paying attention. So both DJ and Amir won the $20 Amazon gift card. So I have both of your numbers and contacts. So stay tuned, and I will provide those $20 e-gift cards to you. Amir says, dunking a basketball over me? Nah. Amir is pretty tall.
I know. Yeah, Peanut, you are, yes, a very tall child.
Yeah.
But I am going to do that, though. I'm going to make you guys a family portrait, and there'll be you guys over there playing basketball.
There you go. Well, for streams like this, when we do a chat, it's normally fairly short and sweet. So it's already been 1 hour and 7 minutes. So that is pretty much going to be it. If anyone else has anything to say or ask, please do. Otherwise, we are just going to end it here so everyone else can get back to their day. So I see DJ said, nah, ball is on fire. So, Amir, you can't eat the ball if it's on fire. Why did you put gasoline on the ball? I know they're like she wants to make the photo for you guys. So
yeah, I'm making all those things. Why are y'all arguing about this in the chat? It's okay.
Oh, DT Beats. He said Black History Month. Darn it, he's late. I had 2.
I know. Dang it, honey. That's my husband.
Oh, it is. Oh, you're late. Thank you for the subscription as well. That's what that is. That what is it? It's an alert. I don't see it though, but I hear it.
Oh, okay.
Someone subscribed. Thank you. I didn't see it, so that's the one thing. So Twitch, had so many integrations. You would get the pop-ups and stuff. Here I have them set up, but they don't always go off. So, and he says the delay. I know. I'm so sorry. Next time. And then DJ says, proud of you, Shelsie. Yeah, I'm definitely proud. Shelsie is someone that I grew up with since kids. I've known you since, how old were we? Like 6? 5, 6, 7, 8?
I think we're 8 and 9 because you're a year older than me, only by a few months.
Okay, so 8 or 9, but we were like kids, and then to adulthood we still talk. So that's definitely nice. You want to make sure that you have some good people in your life that you can hold on to and that you really have a connection with. So Aaliyah, definitely love you. I'm so proud of you, and I wish you the rest of the best success into 2024 and so on. And definitely congratulations to my godson there. And I'm so glad that you got married a while ago, actually. So I'm very happy for both of you. And I do need to come out there to visit you and your husband and child. And then you guys definitely come out here too. You're always welcome to come out here and visit.
Oh, definitely, girl. You are welcome. Of course, your family. So all of you guys are, DJ Peanut, all y'all. So y'all come on this way.
Also, too, I wanted to make a quick, just kind of tell everyone too, and sorry if I cut you off. I was like, oh, it is a little bit of a delay. But yeah, actually, Shelsie made all my stuff. So on my page and especially on Twitch, on YouTube, I don't think I'd have to go on the page, but she did all of my graphic stuff. So especially if you're a streamer and you need like Twitch or YouTube, you need the bits and the animations, how you have to have all of that. She made all of that. So I actually am going to go to my page so I can see. It's like, thanks for having us in this stream, of course. And then Shawnee said, proud of you, Lily. So, aw.
Thank you, guys. Make my heart warm. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes, definitely. And I plan to do some sort of special like this, especially every February, and then a talk show every once in a while. Not all the time, but definitely when I do, stay tuned. But yeah, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have all the outlines like Twitch did, but on my Twitch profile, Shelsie did everything. She did my logo. She did all of that. So I don't know if I have my Twitch on there anymore. I still have it. I just don't stream on there anymore. I'm on here. But yeah, she did all of that. You also helped me with some logos for some of my businesses that I had. You made a lot of stuff for me. And actually, you're the person that I go to for logos and stuff and any digital art. I prefer to go to you.
I'll make sure you can always find me if it's not right. So yeah, make sure you're happy.
I appreciate it. And Shawnee says, awesome interview, ladies. Thank you so much. So, yep, we are going to end it there. Shelsie, thank you. Please stay online so I can give you your thank you gift offline. But DJ and Amir, you guys won the $20 gift card, surprise Amazon gift card. Thank you for tuning in. And anyone else, if you come in later during this, it will be on my YouTube page. So make sure that you like it. Of course, subscribe to my channel for more, and make sure you support Shelsie. Her website is still pinned in the chat. And then of course, let me repaste her contact information, but you can check out her artwork at ShelseieMyles.com or OrangeWDesign.com. Follow her Instagram and Facebook at OrangeWDesigner. So thanks again so much, Shelsie. It was a pleasure having you. Everyone else, take care, and we will see you soon. Also, the stream ending scene that I'm about to show, she made. So definitely, if you have any type of graphic design needs, reach out to Shelsie Myles. We'll see you all later. Take care.